there is no proper, online classes are absolutely not a proper replacement of offline classes. Each and every time I try to take some classes, like say for example, I take stage production classes for the fourth semester at ILEAD College. So every time I start the class with them, every time I feel like ish যদি মানে ওরা যদি কাছাকাছি থাকতো, if মানে I wish that they were in front of me, because specifically the subjects like stage production, or I believe the film studies also, all these subjects actually require something to show in front of them, specifically the stage production, I will say. So yeah, I try to switch on my camera and I try to make them understand about all the implications of the acting styles and all. But still, I don't think that this online classes are a proper replacement of the physical classes. Physical classes always had some different kind of thing, because I just want to mention something that but I'm pretty much sure that the people who belong to the young generation, they will also feel the similarity with my opinion. A lot of communication gap happens with our family members or with our loved ones, with our friends. A lot of communication gap happens exactly when we are talking through internet, or we are talking through WhatsApp, or even when we are talking through our mobile phones. What happens when we are communicating with someone? Talking is just a part. When I say for example, if I'm talking with you, talking is just a part, but communication as a whole is kind of a package. It's not only about the words I'm using, it's not only about the sentence construction I'm using, but also when I'm communicating with you, you need to see my facial expression, you need to see my gestures and postures. The communication theory also supports the same thing, that communication is basically a package, it's not like what you are speaking. So obviously when I'm taking the online classes, because many of the times sometimes the camera is switched off, only the students are listening to my voice. So only by listening to my voice and without seeing my facial gesture and posture, bodily gesture and posture, I don't think that 100% they are able to understand actually. Yeah, obviously online classes, we are forced to take online classes just because of this pandemic situation. But again, I will say the same thing, that physical classes are absolutely something very unique, something very charming. It's much more charming than the online classes. Online classes cannot be online classes cannot be a replacement, proper replacement of the offline classes. Yeah, obviously it's a system through which we have to go through, because we are absolutely helpless. Just because we are helpless, that is why we are using this thing as an option, just as an option. But again, I will be saying that obviously I think that when the pandemic will be over, hope so, within 3 to 4 years this pandemic will be over, so hope so that we will be getting back to our normal life. But I don't think that the online classes will be gone away, because this pandemic has opened so many paths in front of us. A lot of paths it has opened in front of us. When I say, for example, a lot of skills we have gained because we are staying at home. We are all the time we are at home. So previously the skills I did not have. Right now I am having those skills. I have gained those skills. So online classes are also like the same thing. Online classes are going to stay with us. For a very long time. Maybe forever actually. Because online is the future. Right now you can see that the newspapers are getting vanished day by day. The habit of seeing news channels on the television channels, these are also getting vanished day by day. So ultimately we are left with nothing but online internet. But yes, again I'm reminding you that this particular story is only truth for the people who can have access towards the internet on regular basis. But for a very large number of audience, for them internet is just a dream. So obviously when everything will be all right, when the pandemic will be gone, so the people like us who can be tagged as a privileged class, so maybe we will be habituated to the online classes. But again, for the people, those who do not have the affordability to buy internet packs, so for them again getting back to the normal life will be absolutely offline classes. But yes, again, another thing I just want to share some of my personal experience, that I have seen so many students these days, specifically a lot of studious students who previously used to be very studious when we had some physical classes. So right now, a lot of people, a lot of students are complaining me, or they are just having some kind of normal, some chat with me via WhatsApp, that they are not being very minute towards their study. Even I can also see the change in them. Previously they were very much studious. They were all the time. They were very serious. They used to communicate all the time during the classes. But right now, somehow via this online classes, most of them are not being able to pay full attention towards the class. So I have also asked them that why. What is basically the reason that why you are not being able to concentrate on what I'm teaching. Then most of the answers, a very common answer I get, ki bhalo lagche na, we are not feeling well. So, when we are absolutely quarantined, when we are staying at home, so absolutely it is keeping a very bad effect on our mind. Communication is basically a package. It's not only about what you are speaking, but your facial expression, gesture and posture, everything actually matters when you are communicating with someone.
What's your opinion about the implementation of technology in education in these current situations?
Talking about the implementation of online education system in this current pandemic situation, first of all, we are very thankful to the technology, I will say, because I really wondered that if this particular pandemic would have happened in 1950s or in 1960s, then how we would continue with this education system actually, because exactly 100 years back, when the Spanish flu was the previous pandemic for the world. So I have gathered so many information, and I was studying about those things, how exactly people used to study, or how the education system used to work during that time, and exactly after the First World War. So the answer is not very hopeful actually, because for a very long time, even in Europe, I'm talking about the position of Europe, because Europe was the most affected continent because of this pandemic called Spanish flu. It was really badly affected actually, exactly after the First World War. So for a very long time, at least for 2 to 3 years, the education system in various European countries were totally stopped, right? So I really wondered that this particular coronavirus, if it would have come before this globalization, back in 2000 or back in the 1990s, then the exact situation we used to face, we would have been faced the same situation. All the schools would have been, or all the colleges, the total education system would have been stopped actually if there was no technology. So the implementation of technology, I will say, in our education system, I will say that this is the mandate. We do not have any other option left. We do not have any other alternative of that. Obviously we have to connect to Zoom, we have to connect to internet, we have to connect to the other platforms where the online education system is going on, right? So this is basically the answer, that we do not have any option actually. What I'm trying to say, we do not have any option, but this has become the mandate. The implementation of the online education system in this current pandemic situation is not an option, but it's a mandate. But here I just want to mention something, that this mandate, some discrimination is also going on in the world, I will say, because I will try to explain my view also. Because just few days back, in most probably in Anandabazar Patrika, in Anandabazar Patrika, I was going through a report and I saw, that as per the report, only 30% of our population, mind the number, 30% of the total population of our country has access towards internet on regular basis, and rest of the 70% of the people, either they do not have a smartphone because they do not have the affordability to buy a smartphone, or even if some people have smartphone, but they do not have the affordability to buy internet packs, because these days internet has become also a very expensive medium. So mind the number that 70% of the total population of our country do not have access towards internet on regular basis. So only 30% of the population, they are connected through internet, and only the 30% of the population, the kids of this 30% population, only they are having access towards the study and all. But rest of the 70% of the people who belong to the unprivileged class, they are not having the privilege to continue with the education. But I just want to remind you that education is something which is for all. There should not be any kind of discrimination. But just because of what about the situation pandemic, I mean, the schools are not open, the colleges are not open. So just for this reason, a lot of people are not getting the opportunity to study. I mean, they are absolutely getting deprived out of study just because they do not have the affordability.
So I would choose online classes because it's a offline classes are very time consuming. We have to go, we have to spend merely 8 to 9 hours for offline classes. But online classes, it's like waking up from bed and there will be a Zoom link and you click on and you enter. That is the main reason I want to attend online classes, not offline classes. After attending merely 1 year, it's 1 year till I'm attending online classes, and I am very comfortable with online classes. Offline classes, it will happen. We will see that. Not now.
How are you accepting these online classes, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of these online classes that you have personally felt or experienced?
Okay. So firstly, I am accepting it pretty well. First 2 to 3 months, I was facing some kind of problems because nearly 15 years we are studying through that books, materials in front of us, writing notes, making thousands of notes and studying through the books. So it felt like 180-degree turn for me. So first 2-3 months I was facing problems, but nowadays after doing 8 to 9 months probably the online classes, it is very much pretty well. I am coping up pretty much. And advantages or disadvantages, I would say everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. Even the coin has two sides. So in online classes, advantages would be there are various ways of teaching. Through screen sharing, ma'ams are giving us PDFs and making videos for us. It's when we watch some kind of videos, we can cope up with that very well by seeing something. So we can use that videos or PDFs for the future purpose also. When we are in a physical class, we only hear ma'am what is saying. We don't have any kind of future references or that lectures, videos or something we can use for the future. It's only notes. But for online classes, what is happening? We can use that future references if we are not able to understand something. So we can take that videos as we can learn through that. And I would say first what happens is that on physical classes, we have to go to school or colleges and attend, but over here we can attend the online classes from anywhere. Some people have because of some people have health issues, so they could not attend the physical classes. But online classes are doing, even if we are weak or something, we are suffering from fever, we can still attend and we give our presentation. We can attend the exams through online. Attendance, I would say the same thing. Attendance is increasing because we are attending online classes, and variety of learning techniques, styles. Some students, what are they do that they are very much comfortable with online physical classes, but some are not comfortable. So behind the mic, they are taking the effort of saying that yes, I am not able to understand this or that, like this. And some students may feel that they are lacking something. What happens is that in online classes, the interaction becomes very limited. Some kind of their interaction becomes very limited. So in physical classes, that does not happen because we are freely to ask. We are at the last. It depends on the students how they take it. If some students are taking it positive in an advantage way, it depends on the students, and what are they taking in a disadvantage, in a negative way, or that completely depends on the students. But nowadays it is becoming like the technical issues are the most, like even I am, when I am attending some kind of classes or giving presentations, if I am having technical issues, so that kind of break disturbs the student mostly. They would not attend the online classes because of technical issues. So technical issues uh, like you can't focus on the screen for merely 5 to 6 hours or 8 hours, but online classes are going on at least minimum 6 hours. Online class goes on minimum 6 hours, so it is impossible for us to like continuing to see on the screen. So some time of some kind of disturbance happens, like some notification is popping up through the social media, and we are busy with that, not attending the online classes. So it happens.
It is not compulsory to know new technologies, but it should be better. Means you can say in IT industry, new technologies are coming very frequently. Everyone should know the new technologies. If you know more technologies, you have more opportunities to explore. For an example, like blockchain is a new technology that used in cryptocurrency only nowadays. But now in banking sector and some other sectors also, people are trying to implement it. So if you know that technology, you can get a big market to explore. New technology is good to learn.
During this pandemic period, how are the IT sector jobs getting affected?
Yes, it's affected a lot in IT industry also. Lots of layoffs also happens, but I think IT industry is the least affected industry if you compare with some other industries like hotel and tourism industry, manufacturing or automobile industries or real estate industries. I think, yeah, and nowadays I can say IT industry is growing up in rapid pace as everything is digitized.
I'll just talk in the context of India because we all know that India is a developed nation, and although the government has a substantial allotment in the budget in the segment of education, but I still think it is lagging behind. Hence, our country lacks the digital infrastructure that is required to teach in modern circumstances. That is what I feel, because although we were preparing our digital infrastructure, I think since 2011, but with the inception of this pandemic, whatever was the present scenario, just came right out in front of our eyes. So it was very brutal. It was very naked. We could see that students don't have mobile phones. We could see that data packs were extremely expensive. We could also see that how internet connectivity was again a very, very big issue, and again laptops were not there, and all of it. So it's a mix of problems altogether that India is going through right now. Although there are few government initiatives like free distribution of laptops and mobile phones, but I don't know like till what extent this actually helps the student community as well as the teachers. if I again talk about further limitations in terms of developing a pedagogy, I find the problem of fleeting attention really problematic. Say, for example, because it is a world of virtual reality. Okay, it is a world where everything moves in digitally. Hence, to organize classes digitally, there are students who actually don't prefer to attend online classes, or somehow they find that not to be an interesting aspect. Hence, I am also not blaming them, because provided this is new for them, this is new for us as teachers, this is new for them as students, and I can't blame them because we have not inculcated that into our system. Now, if I talk about the editorials that are coming up nowadays, it is actually boasting the fact that India needs to grow up its digital culture, but at the same time it is also rooting for the fact that we need to get back to our old traditional techniques post lockdown, like again teaching in the classroom just like we did in earlier scenarios. But again, this will create a void which we won't be able to cope up with next time, because we are not letting the digital infrastructure blend with the process of teaching. Say, for example, if I give them assignments in the later half of this year, probably Corona will somehow will not be over, but I think things are going to be stable. So if I give them an online assignment and I'm teaching offline, then I probably expect attention in the offline session, but I don't know, how many people will actually complete the assignment while I give them the online tasks, okay, across any platform. So that is again problematic. So it must be, a unified approach. Okay, so these two segments, say for example, this online segment and offline segment, there must be a proper blend to it, with adequate ratio. Like students must attend a few sessions online and a few tasks offline, followed by say learning some kind of skills, be it say Photoshop, advanced Photoshop, or say for example Premiere Pro, or any such skill, whatever suits the interest of the students in the digital mode. I think this will facilitate a digital infrastructure which India is lacking right now. So that is one of the biggest limitation, that is digital infrastructure. The second one, as I stated, is fleeting attention, and the third one, I think it is the entire concept of online education, which is somehow I find not acceptable by the mass.
How does technology enhance the quality of education?
The question that you're asking, it has a lot of paradigms to it. If I talk about education in the medieval century, then we actually had the basic system of teacher dictating lectures, few students open with their notebooks, and that was the earliest and traditional form of education that was available. Now, with the inception of technology and the subsequent advancement also in technology, everything is just at our fingertips. We have massive open online courses. We have a lot of online institutes, okay, like Byju's. We also have online websites like Coursera, EDX, and of course Khan Academy. These are pioneers in education, in online education at least, and they are making sure that education is no longer limited by any definite aspect. Okay, like people who cannot go to school, or as the ravaging pandemic is there. So it is actually helping to disseminate education at all cost to all sections of the society. Hence, technology has again improved a lot, because we can also just browse over YouTube and get a collection of videos, okay, on our interest. So that also adds to our domain of knowledge. So it is not something that YouTube, being an open source platform, doesn't cater to knowledge. YouTube has a fantastic collection of videos on any subject. If I talk about any subject of our interest, and that is educational in nature, then it gives us a lot of insight into the subject by making sure that we enjoy both the audio and visual content, which was also at the same time very interesting. So it becomes very necessary nowadays to blend all of it. Hence, if I talk about the teaching methodology and all of it, so it has been blended. Like we really find certain videos to be very appropriate while communicating to a class of students on a definite topic. Hence, it becomes easier on our part also, and also interesting on part of the students. In case of videos, again, you have a lot of ebooks. There are students, who can't afford a lot of books, and there are certain books that are not available with publishers always. So with modern websites and even Amazon, Kindle, all of these websites, they are actually catering to this definite segment, and with just one click we can buy an ebook anytime, and we can read it at our own convenience. So things are changing in this entire diaspora. Further, if I talk about how in the medieval century, the classroom was isolated, but now if you just compare it with the modern day, you realize that we have so much in our classroom. We have a projector, we also have laptops, we also have a proper internet connectivity. There are other institutes that are also investing and researching more on this, and they have started using smart blackboards, which are also very, very helpful. Hence, technology has not only helped in education, but is right now an integral part of education. Like, we cannot separate technology from education. It's just mere more than just being technical oriented aspect, or technological oriented aspect related to the domain of computer or science and technology. It is much more than that. It is an integral part of our education system.